Welcome to Fino Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. What's up guys, this is Theo from Fino Concept, and today I'm going to show you how to create a simple business card in Adobe Photoshop. So let's just get into it. Let's launch our application. For this tutorial I'll be using Photoshop CC 2015. So I already have this set up. To create your own, just go to File, click on New, and in New set your width to 1125 and your height to 675. This is what I'll be using, but feel free to change or alter the settings. That's totally up to you. Let's close this up. So this business card is going to have two faces, the front and the back. We have our background here, so I'll create a new layer on top of it by clicking the new layer icon. And with this new layer selected, I'll use this color code 444444, but you can change it and use any color you want. It is your business card. Okay, so with my paint bucket tool selected, I'll just paint the entire place with that color. The next thing we are going to do is create noise over this particular layer. So go to Filter, go to Noise, go to Add Noise. Then the amount I'm going to set to 5%, then hit OK. Then I'm going to drop in the logo I'll be using. For this tutorial I will be using a logo. Let me show you what I'm doing. So this is our logo, but this is the white version of the same logo. For this tutorial I'll be using the white version instead of the actual, because it will look nicer on my dark color right here. So I'll click and drag this onto our workspace. Holding down Shift and Alt, I'll click and drag this probably about this size. Hit OK. Then grab my type tool, which is right here. You can press T on the keyboard. Make sure it is set to horizontal type tool. Then I'll type in the name of my company or your company. So with the foreground color set to white, I'll type it in Fino Concept. Then I'll click and drag this probably about here. But yeah, for this tutorial I'll be using the font called Century Gothic, but you can alter this the way you want it. So I just like to highlight concept and bolding it up, so we have some part bolding and some part not. So with my move tool selected, or transform to Ctrl T to bring it up, I will drag this to the center. You notice we have these grid lines over here. Then I'll select these two layers, the logo and the text, transform, and I'll put them in the center right here. Hit OK. Now before this tutorial I already prepared a particular image I'll be using. This is the image. I don't have the name, but I'll try to keep or drop a link in the description so that you can also download it. Before we import this image onto our work, I'd like to make it black and white. So go to Adjustment panel, click black and white, alter a few. That's totally dependent on you, but I don't want to go through that. So instead of black and white, I'll go to the Adjustment panel, click on Hue or Saturation. Then the saturation, I'll reduce it to -100. So with this done, I'll select these two layers, right click and click on Merge Layers. Okay, now hold down Ctrl, press A to highlight everything, Ctrl X to cut it out, Ctrl W to close this particular document, so I don't want to save it. So I'll paste it in here, and with my move tool selected, whilst holding down Shift and Alt, I'll just adjust this just to cover the workspace. So right about here would do just fine. Hit OK. Now I'll click and drag this just on top of my background, then reduce the opacity to 3%. Okay, so this is what you have. One more thing before we go to the second step, I would like to add a gradient over this image or this layer. So I'll go to FX, gradient overlay. Let me click and drag this here so that you see. Okay, I have my angle set to 45 degrees, so I'm going to remove this around until you are comfortable with the position. So probably about here is okay. Then when I'm done, I'll click OK. So I have my opacity set to 50, the scale is 100%, and the blend mode is normal. So I'll click on OK, and basically this is it for our front view. So let's get to the back view. I already have the document open right here, so I'll just click on it. So for the back, we'll create a shape, a rectangular shape. So we have the rectangle tool. I'll click on it, then I'll click and drag. But before that, because I have this set to my foreground color, I like to use this color throughout, so hit OK. I'll click and drag to about this size. I can't really give you a specific size to use, so about this size should be okay. Let's hide the properties. So with the move tool selected right here, you can use the V on the keyboard. I'll click and drag this to the corner, and probably drag this slightly over here as well, then click on OK. Now let's zoom in. With my move tool selected, I like to create a little slant over at this portion. So grab the move tool one more time, hold down Control. So with Control held down, you move over to any of these corners bar, you move over to this center, then you click and drag slightly to the left. Okay, then click on OK. So let's zoom out, and this is what we are getting. You can also probably let's tilt it a little bit more. Okay, now let's do another. Create a rectangle about the size of the business card. So let's click and drag this over here. Okay, about this big, covering the entire space. Then click on OK. So before we start typing in our information, I already have these presets of social media icons. You can use any of them. I'll leave a link in the description where you can download as many as you want. Okay, so let's import all of them into our workspace. So click and drag with all of them selected, obviously. Just click and drag onto our workspace, and I'll just drop them in. So let's create a group for this. You can click and drag and drop it on the group icon here, or press Ctrl G on your keyboard. So let's hide that one up. Now let's start typing. So this is what we have for our header. Sorry, I don't have any specific name I want to use. So Ctrl G to create a group, then I'll type in the name of our company. So again, the color is set to white. Name is Fino concept, change this back to regular and the size 12 point. So I click and drag this over here. That is cool. Okay, before that, I like the color red, so I like to create just a few other rectangles. So you can let's duplicate this. Click and drag this over to the new layers panel, but I'll move to selected. Let's move this, no, not that. Let's move this away and double click on the thumbnail and change the color to red, not entirely red. Okay, so about this color is cool. So I'll put this beneath our, let's just keep it as that. So I'll reduce the size to about this big and move this over here. So let's zoom in. Okay, now over this portion, with our control key held down, I'd like to align this slightly. In case you are not using the newest version of Photoshop, you can hold down Control and press R to bring out the rulers. So you see the rulers are here. Now click and drag this over here. It's going to snap, because this layer is selected, it's going to snap at where that layer is. So now we can move our layer without, or our shape without actually distorting the length of it. So right about here is okay. Then I'll duplicate this. So Ctrl J to duplicate, and I'll move this to the other side. So probably just 2 is okay. Now let's hide this ruler. So click and drag it up here. Ctrl R to hide it. Okay, so this is what we have. The next thing is to import our images. So for this time around, I'm going to use the original logo. So let me bring in our original logo, which is right here, this logo. So click and drag on top of the image. I'm using this because of the red color we have in here. So probably about this big. Then I'll click and drag over to this corner. So click OK. Okay, now for our text and our social media icons. So let's unhide them. Double click and probably change this name to social media. Okay, so let's do this one after the other. We have Google Plus. So Google Plus. Renaming your layers makes it a lot easier. You have YouTube to locate which files you are using, Facebook, or which layers you are using. Probably I should use that word. Twitter, we have Instagram. The last one is WhatsApp. Okay, so again, let's hide them. No, let's not hide them. Let's actually, so with the group selected, let's actually alter the shape of all of them. So about yay big is cool. It doesn't have to be too crampy. Okay, now I'm going to change the color of this to this red. So let's get the color code of this red. Double click the color code. Oh no, this is the layer. Yeah, this is the red. So double click, you have the color code here. So I'll just copy that, hit on OK. So let's get our color code from here, paste. Okay, then with our paint bucket to the long procedure, let's just paint over all of them. So for Google, for YouTube, it's best if you highlight them. So this is highlighted, so Google, oh no, Google, control, you highlight this, YouTube, Facebook, no, highlight it, Facebook, Twitter, highlight, Instagram. Sorry about this. So it's best you take the one which actually matches the colors you want to use. So okay, this is what we have, and I'm going to click and drag all the shapes into a particular outline I want. So I want them curved, so I'll grab my ellipse tool, I'll create a random circle of the same size, so 100 by 100, and I'll make it about this big. So I'll bring that probably here, and let's click and drag that beneath everything so that we see what we're doing. And probably let's change the color. Okay, so with Google selected, let's move Google over to this part. Let's move YouTube over here, Facebook probably here, Twitter at this portion, Instagram here, and WhatsApp. Let's forgo WhatsApp because I don't want to display my number. Anyway, so let's type everything in. So I'll select this color, the color we have from our image or our logo here. Okay, so let's type in on top of Google. With Google selected, let's type our Google account. So we have finalconcepts@gmail.com. Highlight everything. I want to make it regular instead of bold. Then I want the size to be probably 6 points. Cool. I'm going to change the entire font here to Verdana. Cool. Then on top of YouTube, our YouTube channel, which is Phenomenal Concepts. So click and drag this over here. On top of Facebook, we have Pheno Concepts. Twitter, we have Pheno Concepts. Then Instagram, also Pheno Concepts. So be sure to follow us on any of those platforms. Anyway, we want to align this all at one specific place to make it much nicer. So Facebook, let me bring it slightly down. So Control R to bring up your rulers. Let's click and drag this over here. So with our Gmail account selected, now we have it here. Gmail moves with Instagram, so Instagram should also be here. Okay, now let's move the ruler to this side. So we have Phenomenal Concepts for YouTube over here, and we have Pheno Concepts for Twitter also over here. So basically this is it. But before we go, let's create a gradient over our background. So hide that. Let's make it a layer by clicking on this block, or double clicking if you are on an older version of Photoshop. No, not drop shadow, gradient overlay. Okay, the same thing. When you think you are comfortable with it, then reduce the opacity to about 5 and hit OK. So this is what we have. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more of this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel and do well to follow us on social media, because we don't want you to miss any of our updates. And as always, don't forget to share with your families and friends. So I'll see you guys in the next one.